So wintertime is here and it's snowing and it's a time of hibernation, but for us, our house is falling over. So I'm holding it up right now with the help of this post, but this part here was added on about 70 years ago. There used to be a wall right here and a wall that ran across there. The issue is, if we look right down below here where this wall is, there's nothing here. They broke out the foundation. Okay guys, so I'm back here in that crawl space, and if you look right here, you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 studs that's supporting that load right there. Well, what's under it? Amy. So I can't really hold it. Well, all that weight needs to be sitting on something, and it's just sitting on a beam that is just really struggling. And if we look over to this side and on this wall, there's cracks running all along here. Well, guess what? They got rid of the foundation here, which probably wouldn't have been too big of a deal. But on the second story of this house, there was like a 6,000-pound fireplace or fire chimney thing. So here we are upstairs, and this is the big old chimney I was talking about. It's literally built on this wall right here. And if you look, there's the stairs. And it's really struggling right here. There's cracks all along here. So there's nothing below here. Okay, so here we are down in the basement, and you can see where this furnace is. Directly above me is where that door to the upstairs is, and you can see there's nothing along here. So I've already poured a footing right here, and I have more than a couple jacks holding that up. But when I lift this up, you gotta understand, well, my understanding is that all that over there is connected as well. So as I lift this, I need to be able to lift that. And not to mention behind, way back up in there, there's a crawl space where the floor has settled underneath the stairs as well. So it's kind of a complicated project, and I've been racking my brain to understand the best way to do it. So the issue with this part right here is there's 2 beams. Okay, we got 1 beam here, 1 beam there. This beam here in the back, that's what's supporting that wall upstairs, which is supporting the fireplace. And if we look back here, you can see that little metal stake that was driven through. The weight of that wall where it's tipping is literally on there. And if we look at this, you can see all this dirt's kind of cracking up. This wall doesn't go down that deep, and this wall, if you look around this way, this wall right here was built up as a retaining wall, I believe. So it's not like a freestanding wall. So my problem is if I remove this dirt, I'm gonna run into a sticky situation. And you can see where it goes back there and it sits on the old pillar. That's solid. That's exactly where that pole is sitting on there. But all this needs to be like supported. This beam, I don't know if there ever was support. So if we look back here to the crawl space, and I can't even really call it a crawl space, guys, because this is my hand. I can't even give a thumbs up. So to recap, in the basement, we have the furnace. Behind the furnace, there is no wall. Directly above the furnace, we have the staircase. And above the staircase, we have the on-the-wall chimney. So over here, I've already replaced, there was metal air ducts here. I replaced them just for the ease, since it's like freezing outside, that I can disconnect these while I'm working and shove them back in there. But right here is where that one wall is literally collapsing at, because below there, as we can see, there's no support. All right, guys, we're back in the crawl space here. My feet hanging out here. You can see this board. This is the beam where it's bowed. And if we look over here, you can see someone's already shimmed this, who knows how long ago. And you can see the actual gap that we have running here. So I'm gonna do a few things down here. The first thing we're gonna do is tuck point this whole wall Okay, make sure it's nice and firm. Then I have these cedar shims here, and there's no other way to do this because I can't get to it from the other side because that retaining wall. So we're going to stick these up into here and mark them, okay, where they need to be cut. I cut down these shims. So the idea is to stick that into the crack this way, all the way through. Then I can take another shim and go in and pound it in that way. All right, guys, so we got this wall tuck pointed. We got shims here. I left some out, so if we do raise it, we can pound them in a little bit more. All right, so I'm getting ready to pour a footing here. Got this big rock in the way, but that's literally under all of this, so that's got to stay. And I want to pour right up to the rock, so I got my laser level here. And we'll see what we can do. Guys, so that's what we got. I'm gonna throw some plastic over it, let it dry. Guys, I've got so many jacks. I've got two of the little big reds. I got the other big red. I've got tons of jacks back here. I've got more jacks right here. I have Tiger mini jacks. I just got a new Bob's jack the other day. I've got so many jacks. We're gonna let this concrete sit. I like to give it 30 days because that's what they say to do, but we'll have a look at it here. It's been about 3 days now. And that's what we're looking at. So the plan is to put a jack. I'm probably gonna need to rerun this pipe right there so I can get the jack all the way up against this rock. But I'm gonna wait a little bit, 30 days probably. Well, if y'all stuck around till here, there's a couple more things I wanna point out because this isn't the most normal situation there is. So if you look at this right here, you would almost be like, oh, well, it's leaning. This part needs to be jacked and pushed up for it to be level. And initially I thought that too, but when you go and measure from the top, okay, if we measure here, okay, we've got about 24.5 inches from this to the ceiling. We go over here, that's at 23.75. So when this wall was done, it wasn't even level, I don't believe, with to begin with. We can go on this side, and I'll measure from this side. The ceiling's a little bit lower. We got 14.75. And on this side, we've got a little over 15, almost 15.25. So what my idea is going to be Everything you see here exposed right now. Okay, well, first off, I'm gonna start with stud walls right here. Okay, build a stud wall, but I want it to be open. So there's gonna be shelving, but it's gonna add support right here and take part of that place I firmed up here. Then we're gonna add another one right here. Same thing with open shelving. The bottom will be closed because this stuff, I can't just tear into this stuff because we did have this stuff tested. It came back at like 0.2% asbestos. So we're not gonna mess with it like that. We just wanna support it and we're gonna cover it. And then finally, we'll add another one right here where it's gonna be open shelving. So the main doorway will basically be right through here, and then you're just gonna have to turn and deal with it. Well, you don't have to deal with it, we're going to. But I think it will look really cool. We'll utilize the shelves. We'll have shelves all along this wall. They'll expand to this side, and then shelves here, and then doorway. And then it'll be a little bit more safer. If you got any suggestions or recommendations, definitely drop a comment below because I'm definitely open to any help I can get.